introduction to adding fractions. And adding fractions, there's a couple steps that you need to do every time you do it. The first thing, you need to make sure that your denominators are the same. If your denominators are different, you're going to have to do something before you get to add your fractions. If your denominators are the same, all you do is you add your numerators together and you simplify. So I have some examples here that we can work on together. Well, the first one is 1/6 plus 2/6. Our denominators are the same, and they continue to stay the same. 6, 6, and 6 over here. So 1 plus 2 equals 3. And 3/6 can be reduced, or it can be simplified. The number 3 goes into both of those. So if I divide both the top and the bottom by 3, I can simplify my fraction to 1/2 or 1/2. Okay, here's the next one, 2/8 plus 4/8. My denominators are the same, so I'll move my denominator over. And then 2 plus 4 equals 6. 6/8 can be simplified. The number 2 goes into both 6 and 8 evenly. So if I divide both by 2, 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. So 6/8 can be simplified to 3/4. So 2/8 plus 4/8, when simplified, is 3/4. And then the last one, again, my denominators are the same, and we never add the denominators. We just keep it the same throughout the problem. Never add the denominators. Okay, so we have 7 and 7 and 7. 3 plus 4 equals 7. So we have 7/7. And 7/7 when simplified, that's a tongue twister, 7/7 when simplified equals 1/2. Okay, so you may be wondering, what do we do if the denominators are not the same? Because we can't add the fractions if they're not the same. Well, we need to find a number that we can use to add them together with the same denominator. So I always think of what is my least common multiple between my denominators. And if you think of your multiples of 2, we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and 14. And fortunately for us, one of those happens to be the number 8. Okay, so I can use the number 8 as my common denominator. So I'm going to write this vertically, just to help out a little bit here. So I'm going to change this and make it 4/8 plus 1/2. And I'm going to make new fractions, and since 8 is a common multiple between 2 and 8, I'm going to use 8 as my common fraction, or as my common denominator. Okay, so this is 8 over here. Well, 8 times 1 is 8. So whatever I do to the bottom, I'm going to do to the top. So 4 times 1 equals 4. So that stays the same, 4/8, 4/8. Those are equivalent fractions. Now to make an equivalent fraction down here, I need to do 2 times what equals 8? Let's see, 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 3 is 6, 2 times 4 is 8. So if I did times 4 down here, I'm going to do times 4 up here, and 1 times 4 equals 4. Well, what do you know? 1/2 and 4/8 are equivalent fractions. But now I have the same denominator. So I can just bring that denominator down. Remember, we don't add the denominators. It stays the same throughout the problem. And I can add my new numerators, 4 plus 4, which is 8. And 8/8 is equivalent to 1/2. So 4/8 plus 1/2 equals 1/2. And that's your introduction to adding fractions.